Guillermo del Toro's Pacific Rim hit screens in 2013, and 5 years later we got a sequel starring John Boyega, Scott Eastwood, Cailee Spaeny, and Rinko Kikuchi. Del Toro wrote the story for the sequel, but didn't direct it, instead choosing to direct some movie about a fishman and a mute woman that seems to have done quite well. Pacific Rim Uprising is directed by Stephen S. DeKnight, who some of you might recognize as the creator of the highly acclaimed Star series Spartacus. This is his feature film directorial debut. We're diving in for a spoiler-free review of Pacific Rim Uprising right now, but don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. This film is not the most beautiful thing that you're going to see this year. In fact, it's quite messy, but what would you expect from a film that has giant robots fighting giant monsters? The earlier fight sequences have a bit more finesse to it, which you would expect from a director that directed an episode of Marvel's Daredevil. The film's climax turns out to be more of a brawl than anything else, but this is a given when you consider the circumstances. The monsters aren't the most terrifying I've ever seen, but the CGI wasn't a mess, so at least it has that going for it. Those who didn't see the first film won't have to fret too much about having to latch onto well-established characters. In fact, of the first film's core main cast, only Charlie Day's Dr. Newton Geisler, Burn Gorman's Dr. Herman Gottlieb, and Rinko Kikuchi's Mako Mori return. Boyega enters the fold as Idris Elba's son Ranger Jake Pentecost, while Eastwood plays his usual Boy Scout role as Ranger Nate Lambert. The two of them bounce really well off each other, being former partners and rivals. Cailee Spaeny's Amara has a lot of spark and has chemistry with Boyega, who probably has chemistry with everyone in the world, but I wasn't sold on the young actors playing the other young cadets in the academy. The story picks up some years after the Jaegers won the war against the Kaiju. Jake Pentecost, son of war hero Stacker Pentecost, crashed out of the army and is now a delinquent and criminal, scavenging any way that he can. He meets Amara on her own and scavenging herself. When they go up against a Jaeger and come up short, they avoid jail and instead get enlisted back in the army, Jake as a ranger and Amara as a cadet. Shaw Industries is a shady corporation looking to make Jaeger pilots obsolete due to remote technology, while a new Kaiju threat looms. If you're looking for some intellectual film that will keep your mind wandering after the credits roll, you're going to be disappointed. This story doesn't strain any muscles. Instead, it offers big action sequences, a few really good quips, and a misdirect that will probably catch you off guard. Pacific Rim Uprising is a popcorn flick if ever there was one. Not as good as the first film, but definitely not as bad as some critics make it out to be. This sequel soars to a 7 out of 10 rating.